And we're live, man. We
What's
are live
up?
and direct.
Welcome, people, ladies,
Stop this
and
depressing music.
genitals. Welcome, welcome.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. That it was pretty depressing, but it was also kind of a vibe.
It is,
Just like kind of relaxing.
just trying to relax people, relax people with the current situation, whatever's been going on.
Yes.
It's kind of scary, but we'll let the gates open. We'll let the millions and millions of people, daily viewers of the channels, to flood into the gates.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, show that support, man.
100%. Welcome, folks. To see Ben Adams back. What's up, Ben? Buffalo on the beat. Welcome, welcome. Sneaker Freaker. Love that name. Symphonic. Welcome, everyone. Yeah. How's everyone doing? Are we all having a good time? Panic selling and FOMO buying. Hope
I
so.
think it is. I think that's what's been happening, man.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, man, I haven't told you this yet, so I'm gonna get your reaction here live on air. I have actually begun to a little bit, nothing crazy, buy the dip. Not nothing crazy. I'm still holding on to the vast majority of my stable coins, but yeah, just we're having a little bit of a dip this last night and this morning. I did buy a bit of Ethereum, VeChain, BNB, some solid things that survive a bear market. So
right.
Still holding on to the vast majority of my stable coins until we get some bullish confirmation. But again, man, I'm such a I'm a buy the dip fiend, and so I had to kind of fill that need.
Yeah,
I
know you're itching. I know it's like a drug. I know you're itching to jump into a bunch of stuff. But a quick list, what'd you jump into?
Well, I mean, I posted it in our VIP disc group. Again, guys, if you want to support us, become my VIP disc. Remember, we let our members know what we're buying when, but just to read the list here. So I actually bought VeChain, Ethereum, Kusama, Luna, Cody, Audio, PancakeSwap, and Binance BNB. And again, not a whole lot, just a little bit of each. Again, I'm waiting on the sidelines with the vast majority of my stables to buy back in on bullish retest and bullish confirmation. But again, man, these things are such a discount. Kusama's like $180. PancakeSwap went like $10. So I'm definitely buying dip on that stuff.
Holy, I see even a bunch of people here saying like doing good, just took out some loans to buy the dip. Hopefully you didn't sell your kidneys. Hopefully you didn't sell anything, Crazy like that. We got Ben Adams saying buying more Baidu. We haven't talked about Baidu in a minute,
Been a
man.
minute.
I don't even know. Are they still alive?
Yo, Ben's got some diamond hands,
He got
man.
some diamonds
He
hands,
got some
man.
diamond hands.
It got to what? I think it got to $4, I think. Or did it? Or was it
No,
40 cent?
no, definitely
There
not.
was a four and somewhere in the equation. It's
Yeah,
either like U4X, I remember, or
not on
something.
Baidu. It
Not
was
on
like a
Baidu.
2x. It was like a 2 or 3x. It
I
was
see.
nothing crazy.
I guess, besides the point here, guys, we're gonna do a quick market update for you. See where the market is sitting right now. We've been going live every day, so make sure if you like the live stream so far, not so far, we haven't really said anything, but if you like to support us, make sure you press that like button, and we'll go from there. Speak louder, volume too low. Is my volume too low for you, man?
You sound fine, but let me hear the live stream real quick.
Let's see. Let's hear the live stream. Holding. Let me know, guys, if you can hear me or not.
I
Um,
I listened to it. You sound fine.
I
Maybe
sound
just
fun.
a little bit closer to the mic.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll do the same.
Okay.
Um,
No, sounds good.
yeah, man, no. So Ben Adam is saying hold and bid Baidu since the ICO. That's awesome, man. And I'm checking the price of Baidu. It's at 2 cents or just under in the ICO price was 1 cent. So hey, you're still in profit. That's great, man. Great to hear. Personally, I think I've honestly moved on from Baidu. I did sell Baidu at like 2 cents. So
Hmm.
I have weak paper hands. But I think I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of I don't. I don't like the way that the team has been handling things. They've really gone absent. They haven't been talking to the community. They haven't really been explaining things. It's kind of like the team's just like totally disappeared in a puff of thin air. So that's
Right.
really not what you want to see. And so I've honestly I lost faith in the team. So that's why I got out. But
Wow. So
that's great, man.
you jumped ship quickly, huh?
Well, I mean, again, with the team missing deadlines, not communicating, and then disappearing, it's really hard to lose faith. Keep the faith. It's one thing if a project's building, throw out a downtrend, they're communicating well, they're progressing. Okay, that's one thing. But if a project is like not meeting their deadlines, not explaining their community why they're not meeting deadlines, and then just disappearing into thin air, it really starts to it makes you lose your confidence. But hey, Ben Adam, I keep, do your thing. You know what's best for yourself. I hope by now goes to $10 and beyond. You're doing great, man. That's awesome.
100%, man. I agree. Let's see. We obviously need more clarity on a lot of these projects because, if someone like Mark Cuban is actually, getting rug pulled and all that, man. So we definitely need, like, especially in this crypto space in general, we definitely need more and more people, just showing more clarity. But look, man, I'll let you start. What do you got?
Well, Bitcoin's been having a bit of a relief rally as of recently, but again, approaching the weekend, we're seeing that bearishness come back in. The weekends have typically been pretty bearish for Bitcoin. So we ran up right against resistance from our original kind of wedge line here. And so that's exactly where we got rejected off of, exactly as predicted. And then we're also finding at least temporary support for the moment here at this 55 weekly moving average. So the question is, will it hold? Will we hold the line basically right now at 32,500? The further we drop from kind of 32,500, there's just above 32,000, the more bearish we're going to look. I think the key thing we want to look out for is, again, not putting in lower lows. So right now, we're testing this previous low at about 32,400. So the question is, will that hold? If we lose this low, if we put in a lower low now, that's no bueno. That's definitely no bueno because that means we could fall 31,000 and even lower. So that's what I'm looking out for with Bitcoin. Seeing if we can hold and maintain this low here, not put in a lower low.
100%, man. I think we did actually. Not sure if it looks like we did break it already. So if maybe we go back here to my screen, we'll see that just looking here. Definitely a lot more selling happening since yesterday. Yesterday, what do we have here? Yeah, beginning. So since midnight yesterday, but as soon as we close. So let's just maybe take a look at the daily chart here and see how performance yesterday actually played out. So we had that breakout 3 days, 2 days after we had a nice hammer candle, showing we peaked through the 30K, below all the way down to the 28,000, like 700 or something. And yeah, I guess buyers did take the signal on that and pushed all the way up here. And obviously we got met with a lot of resistance at the 35,000 region. Today, we're seeing that even with all this, the accumulation that happened here and here and here, still, buyers came in, but you're still seeing indecisiveness. You're seeing some sort of wicks to the upside at that breakout. And then if we go back to lower time frames, maybe at the 4 hour, we'll see as soon as we broke out, went sideways for a bit, came back to retest, try to push up. This is where you expect buyers to jump in. They did jump in, but then again, the main question we're trying to ask ourselves, was that enough? This retest, this breakout, this short-term breakout, this candle over here, was that enough to signal to the whole market to jump in? Looks like right now for the time being, no. Looks like we did actually, someone's saying Messon's volume is bullish now. You know what it is. But yeah, man. So we did break out. We did came back. We did find the support at the line here, at this support, this well-established resistance for 12 days. Did that bring in enough buyers to push through up here and continue to have some sort of follow through? Looks like it didn't. So now we want to see what's going to happen next. A lot of these breakouts that we had, specifically when we're at very critical levels, things are very finicky. Breakout this was a bearish pattern over here. Since we're downtrending into it, broke out of it, you're supposed to continue to go to the bottom right away as soon as you break out of it. Went back up right away, came back, continued to go up. Was it, all these short sellers getting squeezed now? They had to buy back into their positions. If you guys don't know, if you're short selling and you actually, it triggers your stop loss. If you're short selling, you're betting on the market going down. And it actually, because you're borrowing money, you're borrowing Bitcoin when you actually bet on it going down. If you're shorting it and it starts to go up, it goes opposite to your way, and you say you're about to get liquidated or whatever the case might be, you're buying back into the market, which also furthers this uptrend to the top. So was this a lot of short squeezes that let us? We don't know. There's a lot. We know it's an accumulation zone, and it's such a critical level that it's extremely volatile, and things do not make sense, man. So we did break out, came back to retest, push up. Not a lot happening. We want to see what happens. What do you think, man? Are we going back down below 30K?
Well, I heard an interesting argument the other day that I think is worth considering, which is it's actually, one way to look at this downtrend is that it's actually extremely surprising how well Bitcoin is holding up. Because if you consider the FUD in the news that's been happening, we're seeing, global banks come against Bitcoin. We're seeing the Chinese central bank come against Bitcoin, closing off all financial services to cryptocurrency. We're seeing China ban crypto mining, crypto services. There's like 50-60% of mining power was held in China. So considering that 50-60% of Bitcoin's mining power just got shut down, it's arguably surprising how well we're holding up, considering how well, given the fact that we put in a low below 30,000, that it actually got bought back up. And so that's one way to look at it. It's actually surprising how little we're crashing, considering the very bad news we've been getting as of late. So, I mean, for me, man, I think until we get a daily candle close below $30,000, what's been happening is going to continue to happen, which is every time we enter this 30,000 region, get close to it, it just immediately gets bought back up every single time. Even when we put that lower low, it immediately bought back up. So for me to start really getting concerned about Bitcoin and moving more into stable coins, I'm revising my plan to getting a daily candle fully closing below 30,000. And at that point, I would be a lot more bearish. But I mean, we could even come back down here, and as long as we it's a wick and we get bought back up again, then who knows? During the week, beginning of the next week, we could have a recovery, because again, weekends are typically bad. Approaching the weekend, beginning of the weekend, right? So I think this could be bad. We were looking pretty no bueno for the time being. We have futures options expiring. We are putting in a lower low for the moment. So again, there's reasons to be bearish about Bitcoin, but as long as we don't have a daily candle close below 30,000, I think there's hope. There's
Below,
hope.
you mean? Or
Yeah, below 30,000. Because once we close below 30,000, at that point, it's worrisome. Because right now, whenever we're making these lows are just wicks.
mm-hmm.
But if we get a candle body below 30,000, that's extra confirmation. That's more substantial and more telling than just a wick.
100%. And
Yeah.
that's the thing, And I see someone in the comments here saying it's not accumulation, it's redistribution. I do agree. So maybe we didn't really I didn't really do a good job explaining it. A couple live streams ago, we were talking about how even on the SOPR, which is the spent output profit ratio. It's telling us just basically just simple ratio dividing, how much coins, when was the last, so whatever coin we're looking at right now that gets sold or bought, we look at the last time it actually moved into the market or switched hands. Was it bought at a higher price? So was the coin that's being, let's say, bought here or sold here, what was it doing previously? Was it at a higher price? And that gives us an understanding of what the total market or the ratio, market is overall in profit or at loss. If we bought it here, initially, the last time it moved, it was bought somewhere here, and now it's being sold here. Well, that's, it's being sold at a loss. So that's what that's telling us. So we discussed some on-chain metrics showing how long-term holders of Bitcoin have been buying into the market, and people that got recently into Bitcoin the past 6 months, bought somewhere closer at these uptrends. Now we're actually selling, and they're actually more in the negative. So you're right. It is redistribution. We're seeing that happen. Recently, we also discussed almost, what was it, 50% or above 50% of the total Bitcoin in circulation now is in the hands of big whales, including institutions and all that. So you're right. It is actually redistribution between long-term holders or, diamond hands, I guess, been there for a while, as opposed to in ratio to what, new investors or new people that actually put their money in. So the weaker hands that are new to the market. So you're right. It is this redistribution. We're seeing that happen, and a lot of whales sold at the top, reaccumulated here at the bottom, reaccumulated, so it got redistributed, moved between hands, and yeah, man. So you're right, I guess. Thank you for bringing that up. I see here, what do we have? It's just a downtrend in a descending channel, which usually breaks up at some point or other. Keep calm, stack, and hodl. JB saying we will most likely go down top 15K or maybe lower. We're going into a bear market. It's a continuous downtrend. If we were going up, then there would be no resistance. I don't agree with that, man. Do you agree with that? If you're gonna go up, there's ultimately no resistance.
Well, there's always resistance, but
Isn't
look,
it a straight line to the top?
yes, it is definitely a straight line to the top, 100x leverage with our bybit link.
With our Bybit link.
Yeah.
Short it, long it, whatever the case might be. But yeah, man. So that's what we need to see. We saw short sellers get annihilated, and we're seeing those buyers that got in here as well getting annihilated again. So we need to see what happens. And today isn't the what is it called, the CME gap?
No, futures closing.
I see.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a market reset where these whales have the option to buy or sell or put or call, and I just view it as a bit of a market reset. But look, again, just want to clarify things a bit here, which is we're still in a bear trend. Whether you call this right now a bear market or not, the macro short-term trend is clearly, or the midterm trend is clearly bearish. And until we see signs of a breaking of the bear trend, we're still in a bear trend. What we need to do to break the bear trend is put in higher highs and get above these clusters of moving averages, which we've discussed in previous live streams.
Mm-hmm.
So until we do that, we're still bearish. Weekends are typically bad, and Bitcoin just put in a lower low. So this is bearish. But ultimately, for me, what I'm looking out for bearish confirmation, and what sign do we need? Because yeah, it's clearly bearish, that's obvious, but what do we need to look out for to like really get confirmation of the bearish trend and make it more likely that we could be entering an extended bear market? I think it's a daily close below 30,000. Once we do that, it's more bearish confirmation and makes it likely that we could go to 24,000, 20,000, and even lower. So again, for now, as long as we're holding above 30,000, there is some hope. We have a daily candle closing below 30,000. That would be bearish confirmation. And then 24,000, 20,000 and below become very, very realistic in that case. But we haven't done it yet, so there's no need to panic quite just yet.
100%, man. And for the past couple of days here, we put out those polls, which we just try to gauge where the people are sitting. 4 days ago, we're fully bearish, which we almost a week ago, we were very bullish. And now, 4 days ago, we had almost like 2.8 thousand votes on the poll. Is it going to be a bloody weekend for crypto? 51% said yes, it is. and no, 25%. 8% said I don't care. 4 days ago, again, we had 2,000 votes. 65% were bearish. Yesterday, we were at 58% bullish. We had 2,000 votes on this. So, and actually 2 days ago. So yesterday we're actually, we asked Bitcoin's recovering. Do you think this recovery will continue? We talked about it here at this breakout. People said, yeah, no, it was actually 50-50. And today we're a bit more bullish, looks like. So, yeah, man, it's flippity flop. This
Yes,
whole
yes.
week.
This is live sentiment analysis.
Live sentiment
Also,
analysis.
man, with today's, we put out a poll today saying, are you buying the dip, selling the dip, or waiting on the sidelines? 53 votes, 60% of people, of our viewers, are saying they're buying the dip. 60%, 15 are selling, and 25 are waiting on the sidelines. Honestly, folks, again, there's so many reasons to be bearish, fundamental reasons to be bullish. So what do we have to do to get clarity? We need confirmation. A daily close below 30,000 would be bearish confirmation and thus make it more likely, again, 24,000, 20,000 is likely. But until we do that, recovery is possible. And what it would take for us to be confident of the bull market recovering and continuing is higher highs and breaking above these EMAs, which we've previously described many times. 200 EMA on the daily, 50 daily SMA, and 200 daily SMA as well. These three moving averages are very critical, as well as that higher high. At that point, I'd be a little bit more confident buying back into the market and more confident that the bull trend could continue. So that's what I'm looking out for the bullish case and the bearish case, man. How much
100%.
you?
100%. Yeah, no, that's I agree with you. That's what I think. Closing prices are extremely important. Just shows confidence in the market, and the fact that on a daily, for a while here, we're seeing a lot of wicks to the downside still. And we do see the redistribution happening and the switch between long-term hands and hands that got into the market new. As soon as the hype, as soon as Bitcoin started getting more and more in the news, a lot of people were talking. Everybody was texting me, should I go in? Should I not? And blah blah blah. And we're talking about it being a top, being extremely, extremely overbought, specifically Ethereum at one point. But then again, did we expect or anticipate a drop all the way down to the 30K? No, we didn't. But we discussed certain metrics, and yeah, now we're all the way down here, man. So I know also today you were looking at a bunch of news out there, man.
I have a bunch of news.
What do you
Also,
got?
it's nice of you to not mention me by name, and that when you said people were texting you and calling you.
But what? Definitely not you, man.
Yeah,
Definitely
no,
not
definitely
you.
not me. Yeah, I would never do something like that. Also, folks, yes, so I do have lots of news here. So we have very, very big news. El Salvador is talking about airdropping each adult citizen $30 worth of Bitcoin. This is a super, super interesting story here. So they're giving out $30 in Bitcoin each adult. This roughly works out to $117 million worth of Bitcoin or 3,400 Bitcoin. Very, very interesting. Big amount to purchase
Was there like some sort
for
of a reason,
Salvador.
or
I just think it's well, it's
incentivize it?
a politician's giving away free money. I think he wants to get reelected.
That's true.
If you give away money to the people, it's always a good way to get reelected. Literally
That's
giving
true.
away free money. But yeah, no. Also, man, I mean, it's pretty interesting. So government's coming out with what they call the Chivo e-wallet, and in order to get your $30 with the Bitcoin, you need to pass through a facial recognition process. So I mean,
Mm,
that's a little Big Brothery, a little whatever,
100%.
a little 1984ish. But yes, no, $30 worth of Bitcoin. Who knows? That could be a couple $100 in 5-10 years. Who knows, right? So
Definitely.
yeah.
And they
So
might, that might even end up getting dumped on the market as well. So, like, just again, guys, like it's very bullish news, and has a bunch of I guess repercussions to it. But it is it's the first country, man. These guys are going all in, huh?
oh yeah. No, it's super interesting to see. I mean, regardless if this gets like everyone immediately market sells or not, it's interesting because it it points towards where adoption is going, right? There's
Mhm.
just constantly more countries, constantly more corporations, constantly more institutions got constantly getting in. And so in that it's we're always moving that direction, right?
100%.
So as more and more countries get in, the long-term future of Bitcoin looks more and more bright.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We see a lot of banks also jumping into the market, man. But what else we got here? I'm sorry to
Well,
cut you off, by the way.
I don't know. Please go ahead. If you have something
No,
in
no, I'm
mind,
good.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Well, I did see someone brought up a good point, which is shorts here on Bitfinex are very much rising, and so the market is heavily short Bitcoin right now. Weekends are typically bad. We got futures expiring, so there's definitely some reason to be worrisome this weekend. I think if this weekend we could just manage to put in a higher low, then come beginning next week, a recovery is more likely. So we'll see if that happens. But very very interesting times right now. Like, and currently, I keep on touching up on the DXY each live stream. I want to keep touching
Of
up on it
course.
because very relevant. All right, when the dollar rises, Bitcoin typically suffers. When the dollar falls, typically benefits. Right now, recently, last few days, we have been falling. DXY has been correcting, which should be a bullish catalyst for Bitcoin. We're running up right against resistance. We don't want to see a higher high. We don't want to see the dollar continue to rally, because if it does, Bitcoin's kind of in this make it or break it territory, deciding what its next major move is. This could be one of the factors that tips it over to the bear side if we put in a higher high and if we rally. So we want to see this rejection continue. As soon as we rally, a bad sign. Same with the stock market. Stock market is seemingly holding up somewhat okay. We're not crashing. We put in a new all-time high recently, just the other day, today. So this is good to see. We want to see this continue. A lot of people are worried about the stock market. Rightly, we're seeing higher highs in price action paired with lower highs in RSI, classic bearish divergence. A lot of people think the stock market is overextended. So if we do see a substantial correction in the stock market, again, that could be the factor that tips Bitcoin over the bearish side. So as long as the stock market's holding up okay and the dollar continues to fall, then Bitcoin has a fighting chance of recovering. Anytime anything significant happens with these two factors, we'll definitely let you guys know about it.
100%, man. I think, yeah, man, that's it's not just only the crypto space. The whole stock market is scared. The whole stock market is scared. Big investors are scared. There's more fear in the market right now, and everyone's kind of, seeing where should we go? What should I want to do? I'm looking at Bitcoin here. I'm looking at crypto space. I'm sure it's not as secure. Do I have any secure options? Do I have any like ETFs? Do I have anything, anything that I can put or to just to hedge against inflation, hedge against all this money being printed, or am I going to gold? And obviously, we're gonna have team gold and team, I guess, crypto and team bonds or whatever the case might be. So definitely, there's the stock market 100% does react to higher interest rates pretty quick, as opposed to what the interest rates do to the economy in terms of what the impact is. And man, for the past what month or so, till last week, we had the Federal Reserve talking about, yeah, 2022, 2023 interest rates are going higher. So just brace yourselves. And we're seeing that talk happen a lot more often, and fear is growing more and more in the whole economy, in real estate and stocks, and also in crypto. We're seeing that happen. We're seeing now countries actually starting to adopt it. It's a legal tender. We want our people to start using it. Overall, we're seeing a lot of banks here. We shared this yesterday. I don't want to keep sharing the same news here, but I think it's pretty important. We're seeing that a lot of these major banks, Bank of International Settlement, optimistic about central bank digital currency. Now, is this good or bad for crypto? We don't know. We want to see how it plays up, what kind of protocols are going to be used as well for this, because this is specifically for their own. They like the technology, they don't like the tokens, but then again, they will have to at one point use some of these protocols that are out there. Are they going to allow, Ethereum to be the base for all these decentralized apps? Is gaming, is crypto going to be really involved in gaming and NFTs and all that? Is the digital bank, central bank digital currency going to deal with these protocols? We want to see what happens. We're seeing the Bank of International Settlement, the central bank of all central banks, talking about it. We shared that in the news yesterday. We're seeing different countries, different big players actually starting to get involved in it. We're seeing, what do we have here again? So Goldman Sachs as well, ramping up Bitcoin trading, new partnership with Mike, whatever, from Galaxy Digital. We're seeing Bank de France starting to test digital currency-based security settlement. Miners migrating to Texas. Yes, sure, there's a lot of crackdown in China, but is it really negative news? Is it actually negative news? In the short term, it is. We're seeing Bitcoin, but overall, it's going to be more easier to mine Bitcoin after, specifically when it's not centralized, specifically in one country where there's more risk of the impact of regulations in that country having on the whole blockchain, and they're shutting down these big pools. We don't want you to mine crypto. We want you to completely stop it, and we're seeing that impact on the market. But again, is that getting absorbed by the West? Is that getting absorbed by Europe? Definitely is. We're seeing a lot of those miners migrate to the US, specifically Texas and Kazakhstan. So, man, it is. Does all this news say we're in a bear market? You know, we are in a downtrend, and we know what catalyzed it. And we know that there's redistribution happening at these. If we have redistribution happening at the 30K level, don't you think more and more people are going to buy at these lower levels as well? Don't you think that even if we peak below, which we saw recently,
We've been
isn't that
seeing it,
getting
yeah.
100?
We've been
If
seeing
big
it.
corporations and companies are actually, and you're seeing major countries, and just there's a dominoes effect, and we're seeing that central banks are talking about their own central bank digital currency while Bitcoin's at the 30K level
Yeah.
at lower prices. What's going to happen? Bitcoin's not fully based on the value of Bitcoin isn't fully based on where it's sitting at right now, the 30K level. Even if it drops, we're still bullish on Bitcoin overall. It's price action only. The value isn't only in the price. The value is when it what it brings, and it brings to the economy, it brings to these third world countries that are actually have their economy in shambles and looking for ways to hedge also against inflation. So man, price action is price action as well, sure. But we're seeing too much news out there for me to just completely dismiss crypto, especially when I see a central bank actually jump into the mix.
I agree, man. And look, there's reasons to be bullish. There's reasons to be bearish. And so the way we get clarity in this market is again through confirmation. Putting in getting a daily close below 30,000 makes it more likely that the downtrend will continue. Putting in a higher high and flipping a moving average, you're getting about 41K, makes it more likely that the uptrend recovery could continue. So at this point, like since there's reasons to look at things both ways, you need clarity, and the way you get clarity is through confirmation with either a lower low or a higher high. Um,
Definitely.
and yeah, man, no, it's really tough to call it in the short term. We are correcting. I do think we have support kind of below us through these wicks here at right about, I'd say, 31,660, just about there. But aside from that, one of the previous lows at $31,000. So hopefully these two levels hold. Again, the more lower lows we put in, the more bearish confirmation, and the more likely it is that the downtrend can continue. I mean, we're losing this volume here at 32,700. So it's not the greatest to see. We're currently below the 55 weekly EMA. It's not good to see. We really want Bitcoin to stay above 33,000, 32,700, 800. No, we really do not want to start losing these volumes in high time frame EMAs. So look, we may go down further this weekend, but again, the sooner we get back above 33,000, the better. Bitcoin above 33,000 means the relief rally can continue. Bitcoin below 33,000 tells me that we could attempt a lower low, and a lower low is bad, and a daily close below 30,000 is real bad. In that case, again, 24 and then 20,000 are probably the next most likely targets if we put
100%.
in lower lows.
100%, man. Look, I'm seeing some comments here saying, what do we have here? BTC 24K coming, saying to whatever we just said, not until the bottom hits. And they're saying also El Salvador is less than the size of LA. Sure, but when did you ever assume that crypto will ever be a legal tender in any kind of country? And not only is that, Aussie state government blockchain platform may prevent Tower Black Inferno. And overall, the platform was commissioned by New South Wales state government, Australia, taking inspiration from supply chain initiative to track beef products using blockchain. They're like, they're not talking about a digital currency. They want to actually use the use case. The use case is important and is valuable and is efficient. You see what's happening with Amazon, them automating their own. I guess we can get into a whole back and forth on whether, having robots based on some sort of network being more efficient than a human, obviously that has its own repercussions on the economy and people's livelihood. But I'm just saying that they do see the efficiency and the more profit that can come from that, and they're using that right now in construction to make sure that to ensure the integrity, the quality, and trustworthiness of property construction in Australia. Again, Not only El Salvador, bipartisan bill to study blockchain crypto passes U.S. House of Representatives. The Consumer Safety Technology Act passed quickly in the House, and if enacted, would require the study of blockchain tech and digital tokens. Saying, hey, let's see what's going on there. Overall, Nasdaq Dubai rolling out trading for 3iQ's Bitcoin fund. It launches Bitcoin fund trading on Nasdaq Dubai after receiving regulatory clearance for a dual listing in April. This is Canada's largest digital asset investment fund manager. 3iQ is expanding its reach to global investors by listing its public Bitcoin fund on a major market in the Middle East. Major market. I believe that whether it happens this year, Bitcoin is going to get to a new all-time high. Yesterday's Bitcoin closed at 32,000. This is like yesterday, and this morning it opened at 34,000. So obviously this is a bit outdated, but then again, it's just showing you what's been happening. Again, we just talked about El Salvador. Nigeria's communication minister links blockchain to national digital innovation efforts. And we see what Cardano's been doing in Africa in general, just getting involved in the school system and a bunch. Use case, again, use case. Nigeria's government is looking to drive blockchain adoption as part of its plan to establish emerging technology center across the country. And yeah, we're also actively preparing to take advantage of blockchain technology for our digital economy, and we recently developed a national blockchain adoption strategy. SEC delaying their decision on Valkyrie Bitcoin ETF, gaining more time, I guess. I don't know what's been happening there. And asset manager QR launching Bitcoin ETF on Brazilian stock exchange because of this extreme demand that people have been really asking for more exposure to Bitcoin, more exposure to crypto. It's not only El Salvador, man. It's not only just a small country. There's a huge dominoes effect that's been happening, and it's right there for us. So yeah, we can't ignore that.
Yeah, again, man, the fundamentals to the adoption is going in one direction, which is further and further adoption. But with that being said, markets can act irrationally longer than we can remain solvent. So, while adoption and use case could be increasing, price could decrease as well. We could act irrationally for a long time. So the key thing to look out for, folks, is a higher high above 41K, and a lower low below 30,000, below 28,000 would be confirmation of the bearish and bullish trend. That's what we got to look out for with Bitcoin. Man, do you mind if we maybe take a look at Ethereum?
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Good. All right, so ETH is pretty goddamn concerning here because we are stuck between this 200 daily SMA, the yellow line, and the 200 daily EMA, this blue line. We broke above, got rejected. Now we're below 200 EMA. This 200 SMA here at kind of $18,095. That is very no bueno. That is very bad. We do not want to have a daily candle in the next 7 hours close where it's at right now. So ETH has 7 hours to get back above this thing. If in the next 7 hours it cannot, this is very bearish. We're probably going to test $1,700 next. And if that doesn't hold, well, folks, then I think 1,400 and then beyond is there's plenty of downside potential if we lose that EMA. That SMA, sorry, this 200, this yellow line here, 200 daily, simple moving average. So we got to get above 1890, 1900 sooner rather than later. If we get that daily candle close where it's at right now, that is very bad news for Ethereum. And bad news for the altcoin market because Ethereum is a leading indicator for the altcoin market. So again, folks, if we lose that level, 1700, then 1400, and then even a lot lower is where we're falling to next.
Yes, and if we're looking here too, same thing for the I guess the 200 daily moving average, the exponential average. Overall, we're seeing that the 2000 was pretty much where we've been finding support for a while. Overall, for Bitcoin, we're still above that 30K level. Where we see the accumulation has been happening, or not accumulation, I guess. Buyers are absorbing all that selling pressure. So far, so good, I guess. We need to see if that will continue to happen, if we do have enough buyers to do that. So since May 19th, Bitcoin's been above the 30K, except for Ethereum actually continuing to struggle right now, and it's actually below a very key support level, 2000. We're sitting at 1,800 right now, and we're seeing how overall, since we actually dropped below this support that was established since May 19th. Buyers are more aggressive, also sellers are more aggressive, just slightly more aggressive than buyers. But as soon, we're downtrending into this wedge, then expected to outtrend out of it, downtrend out of it, and we saw that continue with some downward movement. So right now, we tried to find initially even that support, the 200 moving average on the daily, again another time, and right now until we actually just closed below it for the first time. A bit indecisive, pushed back up, completely got rejected off of it for Ethereum. We're seeing it right here, and now we're seeing that downward movement. So in terms of support, or in terms of where that first level could be at, in my opinion, the next big thing we should be looking at would be somewhere close to 1,600, somewhere around that range. That's what we should be looking at in terms of the short term for a support. But overall, if you're looking at Ethereum today, we actually not today. We peeked through it here on June 21st. First time we actually closed below this 200 moving average, which is something that we actually haven't really seen in such a long time. And the last time we actually broke below it was what do we have here? I remember, yeah, March 2020. So it's pretty significant what's happening so far. And then again, once we actually broke below it last time, we saw a continuous uptrend, and we actually started. It took us almost like a month here to actually break above and continue to go upwards. So this is the last line of support, and we know that Ethereum was sitting all the way at the 4,400 some 4,000, yeah, 4,400. And if we just kind of see what kind of percentage we're actually currently down, we're what do we have here? So 60% movement down for Ethereum ever since the beginning or midway through May. So what's gonna happen here, man? It is the last level of support, but if we're seeing here from way back 2020 March, down below it, we saw the pump that comes right after, in a month or so. So I don't know what's gonna happen here, man. But it's definitely a inflection point right now to be right below this guy.
Yeah, it's really making or breaking territory for Ethereum, because if we lose these two high time frame moving averages, there's little to no support below us except some volume and some price action. But again, losing this critical support makes the downside potential very likely. So we got to get back above 1900 and that 200 SMA, and then get back above 2000, that 200 EMA. And the longer we stay below that, the more bearish Ethereum is. Again, folks, at this point, we are in a goddamn bear trend. This is extremely bearish. We're losing support. So for us to be bullish again, we got to actually see signs of flipping resistance into support. We got to see daily candles closing above these moving averages. And as well, there's this light green line here. This is great for understanding whether Ethereum is short-term bullish or bearish. This is the 21 EMA on the 6 hour, exactly where we got rejected off during our most recent relief rally and previously as well. I believe this is extremely good for calling short-term price action for ETH. Whenever we're above it, we're short-term bullish. Whenever we're below it, we're short-term bearish. So again, folks, we got to get back above 2000. There's 3 massive layers of resistance above us. So just got to get bought back up soon rather than later. Again, weekends are typically bad. So come Monday, come Tuesday, come Wednesday, come early next week, if ETH isn't back above 2000, that's extremely worrying about ETH.
Oh, and I'm looking at the chats too, man. What do we have here? If JB is saying if we are going to all-time highs this year, then we will start blasting through resistance levels on a rapid pace.
Yeah.
Like the chat, guys. Appreciate it. Also, thank you for interacting with us, and thank you for also bringing up good points. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a small trend on today's close, then go lower next week. We have to be careful right now. 100% agree. Antonio Rizal is saying it's going to be a depressing weekend. Yes, probably, we don't know yet, but we 100% have all of the tissue paper, the tissue boxes. Me and Brendan are gonna cry our hearts out until
we got our
Monday.
McDonald's applications ready.
Everything is ready to go here, guys. We are ready for this weekend. We have a bunch of canned food in the house, a bunch of beans, and just getting ready for all this. But yeah, man.
Yeah, so Grace and Sophia Cliff is saying why it keeps coming down. Well, Grace and Sophia Cliff, it keeps going down because we keep getting confirmation of the downtrend and we keep losing support. So when doing technical analysis, you're trying to identify price reactive levels that are likely to act as support and resistance, and you're trying to identify inflection points. And Ethereum and Bitcoin keep losing major support levels. We keep breaking down below support. We're constantly putting in lower highs and lower lows, which is confirmation of the downtrend. Each lower high and each lower low makes it more likely that the downtrend will continue. And we keep getting that. We keep getting lower highs and lower lows, and we keep breaking support. So as long as we continue to do that, it's going to keep going down. We are in a bear trend. Whether we're in a bear market or not, again, maybe it's too early, but it's clearly a midterm bear trend. We're clearly bearish. Until we see clear signs of trend reversal, we're going to probably keep going down. And again, guys, this weekend might be bad. So we'll see what happens. We got to start flipping some of these emails in the support. Now, I have a news story here that I think is pretty interesting for Ethereum.
Let's go.
I'd like to mention here. So the Ethereum, there's a EIP 1559, the testnet for EIP 1559 has launched, and they have begun to burn Ethereum on the testnet. So for those who don't know, the way the way changes to Ethereum are made is that there's Ethereum improvement proposals proposed, and the community votes on it. And if it gets enough votes, it passes, and changes get implemented. And one of the biggest changes in Ethereum's history is happening very soon here, or roughly next month, we presume, which is EIP 1559, which will make Ethereum deflationary. More Ethereum will be burned than is produced. And there's a major milestone in this transition with launch on Ropsten on Thursday, where there was 88,500 testnet Ethereum burn. So that's just a little bit of progress towards EIP 1559. These certain milestones, kind of tests, do have to be hit. So it's a good sign, good thing to see, because this is one of the most bullish catalysts in Ethereum's history, because it will make Ethereum deflationary and harder money than Bitcoin. So, there's a big argument of one day, will Ethereum ever pass Bitcoin in terms of market cap? And I think Ethereum has a fighting chance of doing it, because Ethereum's different than Bitcoin, because Ethereum has utility. A bet on Ethereum is just a bet that cryptocurrency will continue to have more utility and people will continue to build using blockchain technology. And that's a bet I'm willing to make. And if it soon becomes harder money and more deflationary than Bitcoin, just another argument making likelier than not that eventually Ethereum could flip Bitcoin in terms of market cap.
100%.
So it is a pretty big deal.
It is, man. It is a pretty big deal. We've been looking at scalability. We've been looking at better transaction speeds. I'm looking here. Turntable Thoughts says Ethereum 2.0 will become 64 times more scalable than Ethereum is now, but the demand is 1,000 times than where we are right now. You will need level 2 scalability. And Nailwell from Polygon told CoinDesk, and I guess he does have a point, and that's what we've been seeing. Polygon Matic actually try to work on. They're just offering that level 2 layer scalability, taking some pressure off the Ethereum network, and even allowing other projects and other protocols to choose, pick and choose. You want more security? Are you trying to be trying to hold huge sums of money for people? Are you trying to be a custodial? Are you looking to be a bit more secure when you got more billions on your network? Or are you more looking to have a better transaction speed? Or your whole project is based on you require lower transaction fees, for example, and that's what Polygon is going to do for other projects trying to migrate or build on top of the Ethereum network, while actually having less and less pressure on the Ethereum virtual machine. So is that going to happen? We need to see that playing out. This guy's saying I got a very strong accent. I know, man. We hear it every single day. But overall, yes. But the thing is, look, man. I think Bitcoin poses a higher threat, I guess, on these powerful countries' currencies, right? I think Ethereum's focus on decentralized applications and building, and that's I think they would be more and more in favor of Ethereum, playing a role in the digital space as opposed to the whole ecosystem based on just the monetary system. So let's see how that plays out, and hopefully, man, I hope at one point we do flip Bitcoin based on that. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. And just to kind of maybe finish off quickly here on Ethereum. So we got a very interesting piece of news here from CryptoQuant. Apparently, we need to update our payment for here on CryptoQuant. So pretty interesting milestone.
For us?
Yeah, there was a little thing saying update your payment.
Times are rough, people.
Yeah, this downtrend is really hitting us hard. Uh, but this is a pretty interesting milestone, which is the amount of ETH being pledged on ETH 2.0 has reached 5% of the total supply. So 5% of the total supply is being staked on ETH 2.0, which cannot be removed until some major milestones are hit. So that 5% of the total supply is gone for, I mean, about a year, could be even longer. So very, very interesting to see, man. Very, very interesting. It's a big milestone. A lot of people, this is basically telling us, people are willing to hold this thing years and years and years. 5% of the network is willing to hold this thing for years.
100%. And I'm seeing here, Corey, thank you for the $4 donation. Oh wow, no, twice. Thank you
Appreciate
for
it.
the $9 donation. He's asking about Zilliqa's price prediction and more importantly, ETH price prediction. So yeah, again, thank you for the donation. So far, we said we're below these key levels, and we will need to see if right now we're below the 200 daily moving average with Ethereum. Very critical inflection point. And if we're looking at past all the way back in 2020, March 2020, when we actually dropped below it, specifically when, let's see here, if we're looking from the top here, when Ethereum was at what, like 300, 288, dropped all the way back down here, so almost 65% drop, which is what we're seeing right now with Ethereum, being a lot more developed than then, and with all this optimism in the market and what, all these developers have been looking at, fundamentally it is stronger. As soon as we broke below it, that's what happened. So right now we're at it. We are at 65% downtrend, drop in price. We know Ethereum can reach all the way to the 4,300. We're below this guy right now. How far down we're gonna go? First level we're looking at right now is 1,600, 1,700 region. This level over here, I think you can pretty much also see on the VPVR. Again, this is the peak we're looking at. There is some sort of overall support below us, but the major one is definitely, as the first stops, the 1,500, 1,600. Again, next one would be somewhere closer to 1,300, and then you'll see those inflection points here where people were accumulating ever since the beginning of the year here in January. So that's what we're looking at right now. We are at an inflection point. The biggest thing we need to see where's that next support is. Seems like we've been breaking it constantly, and these are the main levels we're looking at right now. So in terms of prediction, if this continues to happen, definitely as a first stop is this level over here. If we're gonna see that bounce like we saw in March, then we know what this thing is capable of, and we know then again if we're below it, then the next big resistance again is the 2K. And yeah, man. But in terms of prediction, are you able to predict something here?
I am able to predict something. I have my crystal ball. I have my tea leaves. I have my
Get the
monkey.
monkey out.
And so I'm able to do exact 100% certain price predictions. Now, I'm of course kidding, but we are aware of the relevant levels. So look, in the short term, Ethereum is bearish. We're losing these moving averages. We're losing lots of support. So things are concerning. A major support level we got to hold if these 200 moving averages don't hold is 1,800. This VPVR want to control that volume. That's kind of the last stand if we lose these moving averages. If we start dropping and get daily candles closing below 1,800, then 1,400, then 1,200 are the next stops. And if we lose 1,200, there's not a lot of support until 600. So the downside potential for Ethereum is extremely substantial. We're getting bearish confirmation after bearish confirmation. And if we put in a lower low below 1,700, I mean, at that point, it's pretty much a wrap. At that point, if we put in a lower low below 1,700, all the evidence, vast majority of the evidence is pointing more bearish rather than bullish. And so a lower low below 1,700, a daily close below 1,700 makes the downside potential for ETH the 1,400, 1,200, and 600 very, very likely. So that's what I'm looking out for bearish with ETH. In terms of bullish price predictions, let's assume the market gets back on track, whether it's 3 months from now, 3 years from now, whenever it is, let's assume it gets bullish again. I think Ethereum has a good chance of doing roughly 10% of whatever Bitcoin ends up doing. Because if we look at the previous cycle's peaks, and again, what happened in the past, not a guarantee of what's going to happen in the future, but previous cycle, ETH reached 15% of what Bitcoin did in 2017. So if we assume something similar could happen this time around, then if Bitcoin reaches, 150,000, let's say ETH could reach 10,000, 1,500. So this is not perfect. And typically what happens is Bitcoin peaks off first, crashes, and then Ethereum and the altcoins peak out. So this 15% is 15% of Bitcoin after a correction. So again, I think if Bitcoin reaches 150, then the ETH maybe to 10K. So roughly 10% of whatever Bitcoin does at the peak, I think ETH can do. So if Bitcoin goes to 100,000, 150,000, then I think ETH has a fighting chance of going somewhere around 10,000. So I'm using this kind of 10% whatever Bitcoin does as bullish price predictions, and bearish price predictions. I already said those. So
100%. Agreed.
yeah.
Seeing here, JB, what's JB saying? Bruno is actually saying, who's Brendan? Brendan is not me. There's this other annoying guy, the other voice you hear here.
Brendan is everyone. We are all Brendan.
Who says that? Who said?
I say that it's a totally original thing that started just now for me. I haven't heard this from anyone else. But folks, bottom line is we're all Brandon. All right, we're all Brandon.
That's
It's
true.
just it's what it is, right? Like I didn't come up with it. People are saying it, and so I'm just repeating it. That's all.
100%. So I guess you guys know who Brendan is now right now. Oh, I think he's like, oh, hey, I'm George. We're all George. Oh, this that other. Yeah.
It's
okay,
definitely not that. 100%
you're
not
not
that.
original, man.
It's an original. I've never heard of this from anywhere else. 100% definitely. 100x leverage.
JB saying this dip will be worse than the one we had last week. We should see a rise next month, and that's when you get out before we go way down. 100% believer in Wyckoff method. Look at the chart after redistribution. Yeah. Brandon and Mark, just want to get the names. Brandon and Mess and get it right, Bruno. So
if I can just real quick, because Corey, again, thanks for the support, Corey, asked about Zilliqa. I think I could briefly talk about Zilliqa.
Let's talk about Zilliqa.
So again, folks, things are bearish right now with Zilliqa. Buyers are coming in at 5 cents, 6 cents, right around 6 cents. Buyers keep coming in here. So if that fails, if buyers cannot come in at 6 cents, then folks, we're falling at 2 cents, we're falling at 3 cents. There's very little support until like 2.5 cents.
That's true.
So again, buyers need to come in at 6 cents because that's what's been happening. That's what's been holding us up. Clear base of support at 6 cents. And if that doesn't hold, then next major support is 2.5 cents.
Wow, that's a heavy drop, man.
Yeah.
That's an extremely heavy drop.
Market's very bearish right now. The market's bearish.
Yep. And that's what we're seeing with Zilliqa. Again, we identify areas where we saw supply and demand squeeze. Those are the price levels that are extremely reactive, and where if you're downtrending into a level where we saw a squeeze in the price action, that's where you see a lot of these, I guess, if you're downtrending into it, you see a lot of the buyers react to it again and buy into it. And that's how we're seeing also the same thing with Bitcoin. You know, we're at a level where at one point it was extremely telling here that we got stuck in this for a month since the beginning of the year in January. A lot of supply is being reintroduced to the market at a more aggressive rate. You know, again, sellers and buyers are demanding the price action anywhere at the closer to the floor at the 30K. And as soon as we have some sort of inflection point here where supply and demand meet, and depending what's happening in market, if the sentiment is more positive, if Elon, I guess, tweets, I guess that's the main indicator. You know, we saw a huge rise in the price action. So this is definitely an inflection point, definitely where supply and demand squeeze, and we're seeing here ever since we started downtrending, we did not want to close below it here on the daily. So closing prices were actually exactly at that breakout. If you're seeing here, if I hover, you'll see how it meets this a breakout overall where supply and demand met, and you expect again a lot of buyers if we're downtrending into that level to kind of push against it. Sometimes it doesn't hold. So that's what we're seeing again with Zilliqa. We're at that level right now, level that we had from again January, same kind of movement. We've been talking about Zilliqa for such a long time, and we saw performance that was absolutely amazing. And as soon as we drop below here, we're going down. We're at that level right now. This has to signal to the market. We did drop at it again May 19th, exactly when Bitcoin was downtrending into that level back in January. So it's very similar price action for Bitcoin. If we're talking about some sort of price prediction or forecast of what might happen with Zilliqa, then we 100% need to pay attention to Bitcoin, and we 100% need to also watch out from this level. The more the more we're all the way, the more we're knocking against it, the more likely we're gonna go to the next level below it. And looks like that level is somewhere closer, at least as a first stop, to like I would say somewhere at least as a first short term, the 5 cent, like Brendan was saying, the biggest trading activity. We can see here on the VPVR is closer towards those lower levels at the 30 cent and would you say point some cent?
2.5 cents. If 5.5 to 6 cents doesn't hold.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there we go.
Look, man, I'm really gonna call you out for a second here.
Huh.
You're saying that we should wait and see, and what I want to kind of counter provide here is you keep trying to make decisions based off logical reasoning and tactical analysis.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to FOMO and make decisions based off your emotions.
Right.
And you got to do it with our Bybit link, 100x leverage. Link for that is down in the description below, because whether you're making winning trades or not, we make money if you use our Bybit link. So make sure.
Make sure you check out the links in the YouTube.
Make sure you check out the Bybit link. Yeah, guys. And of course, we're being silly. We're being honest about YouTubers making money regardless of whether you make winning trades or not using the Bybit link. But we are, being a little bit silly here. But yeah, no, look, folks. Again, ultimately, I just like to bust your balls. But yeah, 6 cents.
Keep doing
5.5
Keep
cents.
doing it. Keep doing it.
Has got to hold. If not, yeah, we're probably going down quite a bit more here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yo, listen, man, we're running up against an hour here. Maybe we can start to maybe make some closing statements or kind of summarize a bit. Do you want to give it a first go or?
100%. I actually like reading the chats a lot, man. I really, it's actually pretty entertaining. Talking to all you guys. We're seeing here JB saying, I appreciate it, guys. Have a great weekend. Get your cash ready to buy some cheap ETH and Bitcoin and alts. We appreciate you too, JB. Steven is laughing at your your comments here, man, because you're making fun of me and I don't appreciate it, and at one point I will catch you slipping, so be careful. But
just do it with my Bybit link.
Yeah. Again, guys, if you have any questions, any trust you want to take a look at, let us know in the chats below or to the side or wherever you're watching us at. Make sure you smash that like button, and man, I'll let you have it. What do you want to do? I'll let you fly.
Well, kind of said most of what I want to say with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ultimately, maybe I just want to say something about Cardano, say something about ADA, and then wrap it up.
Yeah.
Which is, look, ADA's losing $1.30. For Cardano to be bullish, got to get daily candles closing above $1.30. If we cannot get back above $1.30, $1.31 for Cardano's bearish. We need to get back above that if we want Cardano to be bullish. So that's the only thing I would want to add, kind of last thing, because Cardano is pretty worrisome.
It is.
We got to hold that. We got to hold that. If we don't, it's worrisome.
And man, I guess it's probably good news if you're comparing Ethereum and Cardano. If we're looking at the daily chart for Cardano, it is sitting above the 200 EMA. If we're looking at what's happening with Ethereum, it's definitely below it. So let's just see what's performing better here in terms of price action. We're not talking, I don't want to start no fights on the chats, man, because I know what you guys think about Cardano and Ethereum. It's like a whole battle of the titans, man. It's like the bigger than the whole Roman Empire, man.
It's holding up surprisingly well.
It is. It 100% is, and it's definitely definitely a pretty good performance so far. So yeah, that's what it is. We did find the support at the $1.10, and now we're finding that rejection at the 100. So this is the 100 EMA. Maybe let me take all these other ones we have here. If we zoom on the price action, you'll see here how many times, every time we downtrend, we try to hit those EMAs. They act like a magnet, but they also repel the price action away, at least when you're touching it for the first time. The first time you touch it, within what, the 23rd of April, then we're looking here, next time we actually touched it, 19th of May. So within a month, you're touching it again and again and again and again. Ultimately, you're going to break below it, and you'll see here the last straw where buyers did try to kind of like push above, but it didn't work. And as soon as we peaked at it one more time, signal to the whole market, we're going down, boys. Drop, find the support here, indecisive candle. Buyers and sellers tried to push. We saw some movement upwards. So now we're below this guy that we clearly try to find the support at. Now we're finding that resistance at it again. We need to prove that it actually turned to a resistance. So far we're just sandwiched, man. We're sandwiched between the $1.38, $1.40 region, and in the bottom here, the clearest support we got is the $1 and $1.10. So let's see how that plays out. Let's see. But the biggest thing, if we drop below this, I don't know, man. I'm looking at least somewhere here. I'm looking at least somewhere closer to the 70 cent or 68 cent region, man.
It's very possible. Like if we look at my chart here, we can see that buyers are constantly coming in at around $1. This white line is $1. Every major substantial sell-off and correction since February dollar buyers have been coming in at $1 to hold the line of support. So $1.31, I believe, is the inflection point due to having 9 weekly candles reacting off of $1.31. It's clearly what we need to get above if we want Cardano to be bullish. But for us to like completely collapse in nothingness, I believe if we lose $1, get a daily candle closing below $1, that would kind of be the last thing. And if we lose that $1, get a daily candle close below $1, next major support isn't until 35 cents, the mid 30-cent region.
Right.
So again, man, look at this. Every major sell-off, buyers immediately come back in. So we're losing that $1.31, makes it more likely that we could retest the dollar, and we'll see if buyers come back in again. If buyers fail over here at this region, the downside potential is substantial. 35 cents and then 20 cents and below. I mean, the downside is potential. $1 has really got to hold.
Definitely. I'm looking at the comments here. Cardano around $1 or less is a great buy to hodl. I see 75-cent Cardano possibly. Yep, it is possible. ADA would be a steal under $1 with the mainnet launch coming. Yeah, a bunch of developments coming for Cardano. A lot of excitement. The Cardano army, I guess, has been waiting for those smart contracts to deploy. The Alonso hard fork now, I guess a bit moving towards that slowly but surely. So we'll see what's going to happen with Ethereum having also happening. What would they say? It's somewhere in August, I guess, when they're
For
fully
Cardano,
gonna, yeah, for Ethereum. What do we have?
for
August,
AP?
yes, wasn't it
Yeah,
August?
yeah, either next month or August. Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
And Cardano, same thing with the deployment of
In
smart
August.
contracts. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
August. Yeah.
we're gonna see that battle happen. We're gonna fight it off. We're gonna get you guys here on live. We got some boxing gloves so you can settle it out once and for all, man. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And look, man, I would just say, look, Cardano at $2.50 is undervalued if you're willing to hold the next 5 to 10 years. So it's all a matter of perspective. It's all a matter of your investment time horizon. Maybe we could start to summarize a bit here by saying,
Mhm.
look, bottom line, whether we go into a goddamn 3 month or 3 year bear market, we're still in the right side of history. We're still in the right trade. All right. We're still in the fastest growing asset class in the world, even if we enter a 3 year bear market. So, folks, bull market or bear market, don't go anywhere. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit that bell icon. We're fighting uploads because anytime anything interesting happens, we're going to let you guys know. So, bottom line, the longer your investment horizon, the lower your risk and the greater your return on investment potential. And again, folks, sure, in 5 or 10 years, Cardano at 250 is undervalued. But if we lose $1 for the next several months or maybe even years, we could correct and consolidate. These levels are absolutely critical if you want to know what's happening in the short term. Long term, who cares? Long term, 5, 10 years, Cardano could be at $100 5, 10 years from now. But that's 5, 10 years from now. Next couple months, who knows? Right?
Right. Right.
So yeah, again, folks, stay tuned to this channel. We're gonna be letting you guys know anytime there's a major shift in the market.
100%. And yes, I see here also someone's asking G Basket. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, world. How low can we go over the weekend and next week for Bitcoin? Honestly, yeah, I mean, like we gotta keep on saying it, I guess, in terms of we can never predict what's gonna happen, but we definitely, for the longest time, we're talking about the 30K level as a support. It's been holding pretty well. If we peak below again, I think it's gonna catalyze the price action more specifically, just because recently here we did peak through it, so it just kind of made that more of a possible scenario. But then again, you'll see how it got bought up within that day and pushed above in terms of a closing price at the 32,000. So again, the market is resetting today. We need to see how that plays out. And how low can we go? I wish I could fully tell you. All I know is that I do expect more buyers to jump in. If buyers have been accumulating or redistribution, I guess I can't even say anything now. But if we're seeing that redistribution happening at the 30K level, and there's buyers accumulating as well at that level, I also see more accumulation or more distribution at even lower levels. So the more low we go, we can go down to these average prices that these specifically these big corporations were accumulating for instance at those lower levels at the low 20,000, even below the 20,000, the more dangerous it is for them and for the crypto space overall. But again, it's been a month. We're pushing against 30K. Is it going to continue to hold? We need to see that. Over the weekend, I can't really tell you much of how the market will fully react to it.
Yeah. For me, in terms of how low we can go, I think the reason why Bitcoin is so precarious and at such an inflection point, such make it or break it territory, it's so important what we do tomorrow, this week, this month, because I think Bitcoin is pretty clearly forming a head and shoulders pattern. And if we break down from 30,000, get a daily candle close below 30,000, it looks like we're breaking down bearishly from this head and shoulders pattern. Gone from this wick, extended to this one, that's our neckline. And the way we do price predictions for head and shoulders is that we draw a line from the top wick, the head, to the neckline. So we draw that line, move it to the breakout point, and our price target for a bearish breakdown is negative 8,600.
Great buy.
Negative 8,600. Bitcoin at negative 8,000 would definitely be a great buy. So my point here is that if we get a daily candle close below 30,000, then the downside potential is pretty substantial. At that point, entering a 3-year bear market is likely, is very possible. So while we can't give you 100% certain price targets, well, what I can say is that if we get a daily candle close below 30,000, the downside potential is pretty endless, and we could very well enter a 3-month, 6-month, 3-year bear market if we get daily candles start to close below $30,000.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, I don't mean to freak any of y'all out or bring anyone down, but that is what I think with Bitcoin. That's ultimately most of my thoughts. Maybe just finally wrap up here. Again, a low below 30,000, a daily candle closing below 30,000. I'm gonna move heavily in stable coins. Bitcoin gets back above 200 EMA, 200 SMA, 50 daily SMA. At that point, I feel more confident buying back into this market.
Yes, sir. I agree, man. I definitely do agree. But yeah, man, I guess even for me, I feel like I said everything off my chest here. It's been a great week. We are, committing more and more to these live streams during, like early hours. And yeah, guys, if you like the stream so far, make sure if you went all the way until here, make sure make sure you join our Discord. Check out the links in the description. We got a bunch of stuff there for you to check out for sure. Got a bunch of links in the description, man.
Oh yeah, lots of bybit links. Make sure you FOMO buy it all. FOMO buy every link in the description.
100%. But yeah, man, I don't know. Any final words for you before we wrap up here?
Look, I would say you really want to stay tuned to this channel, really like and subscribe, because soon we're gonna be showing our faces.
Yeah.
We're not in the near future. We're still working out the details on our end, but near future,
yeah,
we're gonna be showing our faces. So make sure if you guys want to see, if you want to face the hate, not just a voice, make sure you like and subscribe.
yeah.
Check that out. And folks, bottom line, I want to thank everyone for watching. And if anything interesting or major happens, we're gonna be going live, and you guys know about it. So make sure you stay tuned for the next one, and take care.
Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, that's the thing. It's been taking us such a long time because Brendan here is really struggling to pick a specific kind of foundation makeup. He's trying to really look pretty for you guys here. So,
I told you I have a nail appointment on the weekend.
Yeah,
I need to get my nails done. I need to get my hair done. Okay.
No one's gonna see your toes, man.
No, look,
gonna see your...
no, I'm talking about my hands. You don't understand fashion and grooming like I do. Look,
Right.
I know not everyone like really like keeps themselves together and like understands fashion the way I do. And so like it's pretty understandable how like you wouldn't really get what it takes to just like
You're getting
maintain a standard.
Yeah, pedicure.
Yeah, no, I know like just like maintaining a standard and grooming might seem like
Right.
a little bit foreign to a lot of people. And that's okay. I understand how some people don't maintain these standards, but like,
Right.
I just have standards to maintain, and so I maintain them, right? And I don't judge you for not doing the same, but
Yeah,
it's just what I do.
yeah, that's true. But I guess it is what it is. I guess it is what it is. So help us,
Yeah.
guys, if you find any good foundation for Brendan here to put on, any lipstick or whatever the case might be, 100% mention it in the comments here, and hopefully
You're a salty hater, man.
I am a salty hater.
You just see a young G stunting and you want to hate.
Don't ever say that. Don't ever say that. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. See you soon, I guess. Make sure you stay tuned, subscribe, like, do everything you gotta do here. And